Oh, where was I before this video cut out? So, yeah. The Cyclops captures SpongeBob and Patrick and sets them into a glass bowl. And then SpongeBob and Patrick wake up and find themselves in a gift shop, where then the Cyclops, or the diver, traps SpongeBob and Patrick under a desk lamp as they begin drying out. And then SpongeBob and Patrick begin crying, going, "I'm a Goofy Goober, yeah," as they're singing the Goofy Goober theme song again. And this time they cry out a massive tear that combines into a heart. And we transition back to the pirates who are watching the movie, and they're saying, "That's the end of SpongeBob." And then the parrot, who's voiced by creator Steven Hillenburg's like, "Shut up and look at the screen." And then the tear begins floating down into near a plug near a socket that shorts out the lamp and then causes the sprinklers to go off, reviving SpongeBob and Patrick, as well as the many sea creatures that the Cyclops had killed to make them into smelly knickknacks. And we see the Cyclops get beaten up by all these sea creatures that he quote-unquote had killed. So now we come back to SpongeBob and Patrick escaping the gift shop known as Shell City. Because yes, in this movie, Shell City wasn't really a city. It was actually a gift shop. So the Forbidden Shell City was actually a gift shop the whole time. So SpongeBob and Patrick managed to escape Shell City and wash up on a beach, where they then come across David Hasselhoff, who agrees to take them back to Bikini Bottom after their bag of wins goes missing. And then we cut back to the Krusty Krab too, as Mr. Krabs' 6-day reprieve is up. And then King Neptune says, "It is time for you to die." And then Mindy is like, "You could give SpongeBob and Patrick a little more time," trying to buy more time for SpongeBob and Patrick. Of course, while we transition back to David Hasselhoff with SpongeBob and Patrick with the crown riding on David Hasselhoff's back, Dennis soon catches up to our heroes after commandeering the Cyclops' boot. And then a massive fight takes place on the back of David Hasselhoff. And yes, I am aware that they built an animatronic Hasselhoff for this sequence, where Hasselhoff is swimming. So yeah, they built a stunt double of Hasselhoff, an automated Hasselhoff, to act like a man-made machine. Anyway, I love the sequence on the back of Hasselhoff, this fight scene with Dennis. Of course, this does not bring back Dennis's threat level, because he is then done away after he crashes into a boat. And then Patrick and SpongeBob are like, "See ya." And then we cut back to the Krusty Krab 2 as Mindy and Neptune continue to argue, but then King Neptune says, "I have had enough of this nonsense," and then tells her to wait in the carriage, then locks the door to the Krusty Krab as Plankton is celebrating, finally wanting his nemesis to die. But then Neptune arrives and then opens his chest, putting the crown and SpongeBob and Patrick in the chest compartment of his chest, and then launches them out like a freaking cannon. As our heroes then crash down in time, as the crown deflects the beam off of Neptune's trident, and then scorches Hasselhoff while he is floating in the ocean. And then Hasselhoff's like, "Ow." And then SpongeBob and Patrick, along with Mindy and Mr. Krabs, celebrate, and King Neptune kisses his crown. But then Plankton reveals that he has one more trick up his sleeve, as he presses a button, and a ginormous bucket helmet rains down from the sky onto Neptune's head, as Neptune then drops his crown and then says, "All hail Plankton," and Plankton's slaves all capture Mindy, SpongeBob, and Patrick. So, yeah. SpongeBob and Patrick then Patrick asks SpongeBob, what happened? Then SpongeBob says Plankton cheated. And then Plankton's like, cheated? And then he tells Neptune to hold off for a second. And then Plankton said, you never had a chance to defeat me, fool. Because you want to know why? And then SpongeBob says, because you cheated. And then he said, not because I cheated, because I'm an evil mastermind. And you're just a kid. A stupid kid. And then SpongeBob's like, you're right, Plankton. I am a kid. And then SpongeBob gives this well-winded speech until he begins busting out into a song, singing the Goofy Goober rock song. Ah, Goofy Goober, rock! And yes, this was... And then I learned that this was... That I'm aware this was a cover of a 80s song done by Twisted Sister, which was the song I Wanna Rock by Twisted Sister. So this was like a cover of that song, but technically it's a different but technically with the lyrics being different. And we get the montage of SpongeBob singing, and oh yes, we do show Patrick wearing frickin' hooker heels, hooker boots, and fishnets. Yes, Patrick is wearing fishnet leggings and hooker boots. And then SpongeBob turns into this ginormous wizard that begins shooting beams out of a guitar as he's playing, as he's freeing all those slaves from Plankton's control, and all of Plankton's former slaves are jamming out to the song. And then Plankton tries to escape, and then he's cut off by a bunch of fish after the fish said, "It's the wizard who saved us! And then Plankton's like, out of my way, fool! And then Plankton gets stepped on. And that's how Plankton was defeated, just like how he usually gets beaten in the cartoon. And then Plankton is loaded into the back of a tiny police car. And then he said, I will destroy all of you! And then, of course, King Neptune said, I never doubted you for a second, Mindy. And then Mindy reminds him of unfreezing Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs gets unfrozen by Neptune. After that, Mr. Krabs shows his appreciation to SpongeBob and tells SpongeBob, this is what I should have done 6 days ago. And then he decides to give SpongeBob the manager position after all. SpongeBob, before he could say anything, Squidward has this really good line, and then SpongeBob said, I just wanted to tell you, Squidward, that your fly was down. And then SpongeBob's like, manager, this is the happiest day of my life! And then the movie ends. So, of course, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Final thoughts? I gotta say, it definitely was a great way for the golden era of SpongeBob to go out. If this was how the golden era of SpongeBob should have ended, or how the series should have ended entirely, I would have believed this could have been the perfect ending. But Nickelodeon, because of money, wanted to continue the show anyway. And because of all the reruns and how much money those still make, you can see why Nickelodeon was still desperate to continue to make more and more spin-offs, even though Hillenburg never wanted to do spin-offs, but Nick got greedy, going against Hillenburg's wishes after he died. Anyway, this has been your Digital Super Saiyan 3, and next time, we go to the Barnyard with Barnyard, the original party animals in 2006. See ya!